Hey, I'm Oscar, and today we're at the MTC, and you'll be able to get to know the factory a bit better, but also get to know me a bit better. So, here we go. I actually had a tour here about 5 or 6 years ago. So that was my first time seeing the MTC and the boulevard, so that was very, very cool. But my first day of work was, of course, earlier this year. You've got a current car, and all of these cars here. You've got Johnny Rutherford's IndyCar, one of Prost's cars. It's pretty cool when you walk into work and you see those kind of things. This is now my favorite part of the boulevard, my sprint trophy, which is really a plaque. I know it was a good race, but it's not quite a podium yet.
What a story from the 22-year-old Australian who scores his best result. P2 for McLaren.
Feeling very special, still my first piece of silverware for the team, so it was very, very cool to be able to get that on the weekend. First thing I do at MTC normally is text my engineers to see where they are. If it's a bit of a debrief, we'll do it over coffee or hot chocolate, some pastries as well. You gotta keep the pun going, of course, Oscar Piastri. It was a big decision to move to the UK so young. I knew if I wanted any chance of reaching F1 that that was gonna be necessary to try and make it happen. So didn't make it any easier, that's for sure, but I think the sacrifice has paid off now. Achieved my dream of becoming an F1 driver, but I still try and get back to Australia when I can to see my family, my friends, get a bit of sun, because the UK is not very good at doing the sun. For the first 4 years I was in the UK, I still attended school. I went to boarding school, going karting, whilst trying to do my schoolwork. That was a rule from my parents that if I wanted to go racing, I was allowed to, but I still had to maintain good grades at school. Yeah, it was tricky, especially towards the end of school, was when I was getting into Formula Renault and Formula 3, so getting to the business end of my junior career. The leniency on the grades kind of was a bit more. So yeah, Mark is my manager. Before that, I knew him as a Red Bull driver on TV. Mark, being Australian, was somebody I followed very closely, so it's a bit weird even now after 3 years of working together. He's been very helpful on many fronts. Also, him and his wife Anne do a million things behind the scenes for me, making my life as easy and stress-free as possible. So we're now here at McLaren's Trophy Cabinets. I said there was a lot of cool places in the MTC before, but the Trophy Cabinets is probably the coolest place actually. So very, very special to see what the old trophies look like and the people that won them too. People like Senna, Prost, Hunt, Lauda, Hamilton, Jensen as well. I will still never forget 2011 in Canada, as I'm sure most people won't. We've got a special one in McLaren's heart, I'm sure. They don't have this race anymore, but the Raft Race of Canada is very proud trophy for all of us here at McLaren. That's probably my favorite now that I've seen that. So, okay, so we're now in the spine, which not that many people get to see in McLaren, so it feels special. But it's kind of where all the old historic cars live. So 60th year this year, 60 times 2, it's 120 cars that we got. So there's probably more as well, because we built Indy cars, sports cars, you name it. So we've got some cool stuff here. We've got one of Coulthard's old cars, one of Mansell's old cars. Yeah, if you want to see some old race cars to really get your nostalgia flowing, this is the place to be. So I got to drive James Hunt's 1977 car at Goodwood. I was very scared to drive that car because it's got a gear stick, which I've never had in a race car before. And I thought the clutch might be quite temperamental, but it was actually pretty good. So I certainly have a new appreciation for how safe our cars are. So there you go, that's a tour of some of the MTC and also some more knowledge about me and my life. So I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you on the other side of the summer break at Zandvoort. Cheers.